All right, everyone, happy Friday. It's the last day of the week. Let's please keep it as a Friday. Let's not try to turn it into a disappointing Monday. These are the rules of the 187 District Court. You are in a courtroom. To all of the inmates, you're not allowed to use the chat box. You're not allowed to use the internet. If you use the internet, if you use the chat box, you will be sent back. We will see you maybe in 60 or 90 days. As you know, there are staffing issues. To all of the defendants and those who are accused who are on bond, you need to find a stationary place. You need to find a quiet place. If you are at work, you need to let your employer know that you need to take a break because you have court. There is to be no laying in bed, no being inappropriately dressed, no taking care of children, taking care of pets. Whatever you could not do if you were physically in this courtroom, you cannot do on this Zoom. To all of the people who are on bond, who are at your home and at your work, your screen is not allowed to go dark. There's only one exception to that rule. And that exception is if you are on a phone and you are signing paperwork, because your screen will go dark when you're signing paperwork. Otherwise, your face needs to be visible. To all the attorneys, if you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small you think that plea bargain agreement is, you need to put that in the chat box. And the person you're going to be putting that in the chat box to is the court coordinator. She will be listed on the screen as Ferguson coordinator. Please do not call her, chat her, email her, text her, asking for a continuance. I'm the only person who can give you a continuance. I'm going to open the breakout rooms. When I open breakout rooms, it will invite everyone to go to a breakout room. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless you are specifically called by name and assigned to a breakout room. To all attorneys, treat those breakout rooms like when you go to a doctor's office. When I assign you to a breakout room, just one moment. When I assign you to a breakout room, think of that as going to the doctor's office. When the nurse calls you to the back and you're excited because you're going to get in and get out, when you go to those little rooms, you realize the doctor's not seeing you right away. They're just checking your weight and your blood pressure. As you can tell, there are more defense attorneys than there are prosecutors. The prosecutors have the ability to move in and out the breakout rooms. If you leave that breakout room, they're going to see that that breakout room is empty. They're not even going to knock on the door. They're just going to skip over that room and go to the next person. To all attorneys, it will make the process move quicker if you're able to add to your name the name of your client and whether or not that is criminal trial division or family violence. James Toshi has started this, but he has not added whether or not it's criminal trial division or family violence. So he will get an A-. All right. To all of those defendants and those who are accused, your attorney's name will be called. Your name will not be called. If you do not see your attorney, and if your attorney's name has not been called, it's because they are Zooming in another courtroom or had to appear in person in another courtroom. Be patient. Everyone put some patience in your pocket and just breathe and relax. You'll get a chance to see your attorney. Family violence with exclamation points. Okay, Mr. Toshi. All right, so this is the order in which the attorneys will appear. Melanie Lira, Robert Mara, Del Cueto, Lorraine Efron, Joseph Appelt, James Toshi, Barry Hitchens, Robert Guyona, Todd McCrae, Will Brooks, Cecil Bain, Paul Smith, Charles May, Alfonso Cabanas. Is there any other attorney that I have missed? All right. And then after I assign attorneys to the room, I know some of you are here for compliance hearings. I will take the compliance hearings up. To all the inmates, do not tell the deputy that you're excused. We will let you know when you are done. So if you tell the deputy that you are done and you're not done, again, we will see you in maybe 60 to 90 days because it's very difficult to get you back on the Zoom screen. Melanie Lira, who do you have?
Good morning, Judge. I have Jesus Mendoza at Criminal Trial Division. And my client and I have not had contact since release. So if he's on the Zoom, that would be great.
All right, we will see what happens. I'll send you to breakout room number 3.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Robert Maurer.
Judge, I have a motion to withdraw on Andre Watson. I think I'm set for hearing on. It's a CTD case.
Right.
And then I have a recall from Geronimo Hernandez. I just need to confer with him about some new evidence and an offer. But if I can do the motion to withdraw first, then I'll take my time to confer with my other client.
All right, just give me a moment on your motion to withdraw.
Yes, ma'am.
Del Cueto?
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
Yes, Judge. It was a recall, I believe, from Monday's docket, and you had my client, Jonah Rodriguez at CTD. You had my client, Jonah Rodriguez, evaluated by drug court, and you were going to assign him to drug court. And if drug court couldn't take him, you were going to, in my understanding, in my memory, judges, you were going to assign him to lifetime recovery.
Yes. So we will see what is happening. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2, Ms. Solomon, and that is the probation officer today. Could you go to number 2? And if you could come back and give me an update on that for Mr. Rodriguez, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Lorraine Efron.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Okay. Hi. So what's your client's name? You just did SC.
Special Crimes Family.
All right. And what is your client's name?
Richard Thomas.
I'm going to send you to number 4.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Joseph Appelt.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. Gilbert Gonzalez, CTD. I believe Mr. Gonzalez is in custody.
I'm going to send you to number 5.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. James Toshi, is your client with family violence? I see all the exclamation points.
Want an A+ judge? Yes, ma'am, she is. And I'm conferring with Ms. Knowles. I know that we had kind of a discussion yesterday, but I'll go over there and report back to you. But obviously, we're going to be asking for some more time, Judge.
All right, I'll send you to number 6.
Thank you.
Barry Hitchens.
Morning, Your Honor. It's a CTD, but before, if I could be put in the a breakout room with either Ms. Reyes or maybe, I guess it's Ms. Solomon today from the probation office.
Yes. What is your client's name?
It's Gregory Moore. It's on a motion to enter adjudication of guilt. And he's in jail and he's present.
All right, I'll send you to number 7.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Robert Guyona.
Judge, it's a CTD case on Javier Riviera. I believe he's an inmate.
I'll send you to number 8.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Todd McCray.
Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, Your Honor. I have Paul Smith at CTD. This is a recall from yesterday. We've already conferred. Mr. Smith is on the screen, and the issue is there's a warrant. I believe he's classified as a fugitive, and this is based on a off bond that the bondsman filed back in December. And according to Mr. Smith, he paid the bondsman, and he doesn't understand why the bondsman went off the bond.
All right,
And
just give me a moment with yours. Let me sign attorneys and I'll come back to you, to your case.
okay.
All right, Mr. Brooks, thank you so much for changing your name. I'm going to send you to number 9.
Morning, Judge. Thank you.
Cecil Bain.
Present, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you for changing your name. I'm going to send you to number 10.
Thank you, Judge. Morning.
Morning. Charles May, thank you for changing your name. I'm going to send you to 11.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Alfonso Cabanas. Hi, thanks for changing your name. I'm going to send you to 12.
Judge, real quick, I have that who's CTD and then a sentencing that was continued from Tuesday on Mr. Victor Enriquez.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
And just remind me, we'll take up that sentencing as soon as I work my way through, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll send you to number 12. Robert Guyona, you're back?
Yeah, Judge, internet issues. So 8, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Gail Calderado?
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
Yes. Who do you have?
Yes, I have Raul Fernandez and Megan Wilhite.
Raul Fernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
I believe this is family violence.
And then who's the other person?
No, it's criminal trial division.
All right, and then who else?
And Megan Wilhite, and she is, I think she's a criminal division too. They're not.
How do you spell her last name?
Wilhite.
Okay, I'm going to send you to Lucky Breakout Room number 13.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're
Good
welcome.
to see you. Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year to you too. Derek Emmons. Derek Emmons, going once.
Good morning, Judge. How are you?
Hi. All right, I'll see you to number 14.
Thank you, Judge.
Guillermo Lara.
Morning, Judge.
Yes, I'll send you to number 15.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and then now we'll take up who's your client? Watson?
Yes, Judge Andre Watson, he's in custody.
Is he listed on this screen? Is he here?
I do not see him on there, Judge.
All right, as soon as we get Mr. Watson here, I'll take up that matter.
Okay, and Judge, do you see Geronimo Hernandez on here? He was the recall. He was late on.
Just one moment. Ms. McCutcheon, while you're laying down. Ms. McCutcheon? Ms. McCutcheon. Could you unmute for me, please? Ms. McCutcheon, turn on your audio. Just one moment, Mr. Mauer. Ms. McCutcheon, can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me?
Looks like muted and volume off.
Mhm. All right, we'll wait for her to come back. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give me an ETA on Mr. Watson, please?
Yes, ma'am. I think he's supposed to be here at 9:30, Judge, but let me check on that.
Thank you.
And Judge, I can come back. It's no big deal. I just wanted to confirm that I was recalled for today on Geronimo Hernandez as well. He's the guy who logged on at like 11:45 on Monday.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with Ms. Ferguson and she can let you know about that.
All right, thanks, Judge.
All right, thank you. So if you'll go to one, Ms. Ferguson, please go to number 1.
Judge Boyd,
Yes.
the point of contact for drug court isn't responding. I even tried to call, so I'm gonna give them a few more minutes and then I'll call back for a response on Jonah Rodriguez.
All right. And so who was the point of contact on that one?
I talked to Emil Huggins, which is the manager of the specialized court, and then I called, he told me to contact Diana Zamaron. Yes, but I think she's off today because it shows she's offline, and I called her office number and it went straight to voicemail.
Okay, all right. Let me see if I can help facilitate things. Just give me a moment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, everyone, just give me a moment, please. Mr. Joe Cueto, do you have a cause number, please?
I've got a SID. Give me 1 second.
Judge, I can give you the cause number.
All right, thank you. If you could, please.
2021 CR 4746.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Joe Cueto, let me see if Mr. Rodriguez, he is not on the screen either. But here's the update from felony drug court. He has been screened. They say that they are going to accept him. The only thing that they're waiting on and the only hurdle that may be in the way is they're checking NCIC just to see if there's anything else that they should know about. And so what we're going to do on it, we're going to recall it for Friday. They said that they'll know by Wednesday, but I always like to give a little leave room in case something happens. So they should know by Wednesday, but we'll recall it for Friday.
Okay, Judge.
All right, where is he on the docket? Brenda, do you see him on the docket?
Who are you looking for, Judge?
Judah Rodriguez. Thank you. I don't see him on the docket either. All right, thanks. All right, so what we'll do is we will recall it for Friday. And Mr. Cueto, since your client is not on the docket, he's not going to be brought over from the jail. Would you like to speak with him today?
No, Judge, I don't think so. I think everything's gonna be tied up on we're gonna finish this on Friday, God willing, and then we can sort of just all move forward.
Yes. And so that's, as they said, that's the only thing that may be an issue. So Ms. Ferguson, if you could put cause number 2021 CR 4746 on the docket for the 21st, please.
Yes, ma'am.
And will that be at 9, Your Honor?
Yes. And Mr. Giaforto, if you're able to, if you get in touch with felony drug court and they've done it by Wednesday and you want it on the docket sooner than that because it's been completed, just let us know.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. You're excused.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too.
Can I approach you on Paul Smith, please?
Just a moment. Yes.
Judge, that's the case where we appeared yesterday. We've already conferred. We have an offer, but there's a fugitive status based on an off bond in December. He's present on the screen today. He had some trouble logging in yesterday. And I think he just needed some direction in terms of, he felt like there was kind of unjust cause for his bondsman to go off the bond because he had fully paid the bondsman. And I kind of asked him to sort that out with the bondsman, but there's still a fugitive status. And I think we were.
What is your client's cause number?
Here, Judge, it's 2021 CR 8325.
Oh, just 1 second. All right, to the courts, could you bring that file because it's not on the docket?
No, he's made all the appearances, Your Honor.
All right, have you had a chance to discuss the offer with your client?
Once we get past the fugitive status, I have discussed the offer. We just need it, maybe one more setting to decide whether Mr. Smith is amenable to that offer.
Well, you probably need to talk to the state about a bond for Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, the bondsman wanted off your bond, and what the bondsman put in the affidavit to surrender surety is that they say that you failed to comply with the conditions of bond. They've tried to contact you numerous times and also with your co-signer, and they said they contacted your attorney. So that's where we are, Mr. Smith. So what we're going to do, Mr. McRae, I'm going to send you to a breakout room. If you want to talk to the state concerning a bond, you can talk to the state concerning a bond. And I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Lyra.
Okay, Judge, I have received an offer. They're willing to dismiss it into the misdemeanor. I just got to get a hold of my client.
All right, where is your client?
I do not know.
All right, I give everyone till 10:30.
Yes, Judge.
Lorraine Efron.
Yes, Judge. I need more time to view discovery. This is kind of an unusual case with a voluminous amount of discovery that requires me to go to the DA's office to view it. And it's just been a little problematic in getting it scheduled. The advocate's out right now. She should be back next week, and I'm on track to schedule a couple more. It's probably going to take me at least 3 more trips to the DA's office to go through it all. Yeah.
Okay, well, what I can tell you, we were here in December, which I understand December, it's holidays, people are not doing anything. Well, I mean, people are doing things, but I understand that people's attention are on different things. I'll put it that way. So we were here in December for discovery. We were here on October for discovery, and then November for discovery. So, Ms. Ferguson, on Richard Thomas, can I have a 30-day reset for discovery, please?
And Judge, I have been there to view the discovery. It's not for lack of me going. It's just that the amount of discovery is very time consuming to sit there to go through.
Oh, I understand. All right, we'll come back on February 16th.
Okay, my client's here. May he be excused?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank
Well,
you.
the weekend is upcoming. Great Friday, great weekend.
Yes, have a great Monday holiday too, Judge.
All right, thank you. Jeannie Bloomster, who do you have?
Fabian Cedillo.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
Criminal Trial Division.
I'm going to send you to breakout room number 16.
Okay, thank you.
Catherine Venezuela, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 17.
Yes, Your Honor.
Xavier Alcaraz.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hi, is there a reason you have something on your head?
Yeah, it's just kind of chilly in here, man. I don't have no heater inside the house. It gets really cold in here.
All right, but here's the thing. You can't wear caps in court or caps on screen. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll take it off, ma'am.
All right, no problem. All right, Joseph Appel.
Yes, Your Honor. I conferred with Meredith. She made an offer, and my client, Ms. Gonzalez, is willing to accept the offer. We need to get some paperwork started so we can knock that out today for y'all.
All right, thank you. If you put it in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson, we will make that happen.
Do I need to put the specific terms of the offer or just that we have a deferred offer?
Whether or not it's deferred or regular probation.
I've sent that to you already, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And you can go back to number 5 and paperwork will be coming your way.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else ready? All right, then we will take up our compliance hearings. Let's see, who do we have here?
And Judge, when you have a moment, will you meet with Alfonso and I in a breakout room?
Which breakout room are you in?
Let's see.
Number 12?
Yeah.
All right, I'll meet you in 12 now. Everyone, just give me a moment, please. Joseph Stetson, welcome.
Hello, Judge. Sorry.
That's okay. I'm going to send you to number 16.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, now we're going to start with our compliance hearings. Let me see. Is James Jenkins here? James Jenkins Jr.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just one moment. Let me see if I can get this to work. Ah, it works. All right, let me see what is happening with you, Mr. Jenkins. All right, Mr. Jenkins.
Yes, ma'am.
The issue that they're having with you is that you won't stop using marijuana. So why are you continuing to use? And none of this is on the record. This is me having a conversation with you before maybe a motion to revoke is filed against you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So how old are you?
I'm 57.
All right, so you are at the point where I am, which is more of our life is behind us than in front of us, unless you and I are planning to live deep into our hundreds. So you're on deferred adjudication. You could end up going to prison for 10 years. So here's the question for you. Is marijuana worth 10 years of your life at the prison?
No, ma'am.
So, I mean, why won't you stop using marijuana? What is the issue? Why do you continue to use?
I have no excuses, Judge. I came from another county. I kind of live with someone else, just having an established home. So I really don't have any excuses, but I'm asking the court to please allow me the opportunity to rectify my situation at this moment.
Well, I mean, you've said a lot. As I tell everybody, and I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, you've given me some sentences, some complete sentences with nouns and verbs in it. But my question hasn't been answered. It hasn't told me why you continue to use marijuana, because this is what I did. I gave you AANA meetings. I gave you the intensive outpatient treatment. And you go to group sessions, but you still continue to use. I mean, it's like, are you hanging around with people? Is it like me when I'm on my diet and everybody, and I'm saying I'm not going to eat chocolate cake, but then somebody is having chocolate cake with ice cream and they're like, Stephanie, take a slice. And I'm like, I'm on my diet. And they're like, well, it's just one slice. Is that what happening to you? You're hanging around people who are smoking marijuana and they're like, just take one hit, you're messing up the vibe. What's going on?
Yes, ma'am.
No, so I mean, what is your situation? Are you around people who are using marijuana? And then I guess you're 57 and you're bending the peer pressure?
Something like that, yes, ma'am.
Are you in a relationship?
It's just an old habit, but all habits are hard to break, but they all break. Ma'am?
Mr. Jenkins, are you in a relationship?
Yes, ma'am. I'm with my wife of 35 years.
Okay. So here's the thing. If you don't stop doing what you're doing, I know people think marijuana is not a big deal, but if you don't stop using marijuana, because you're in Texas, you're not allowed to use marijuana in Texas. You're definitely not allowed to use marijuana while you're on probation. Do you want to be the person who potentially is at the prison for 5 years, 2 years, 10 years, and they say, well, what happened? And you say, me, no, Judge Boyd just has me in here because I use marijuana?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Because people at the prison are going to be like, man, you chose smelling the fresh air, walking around, You said, I'd rather do marijuana.
No, ma'am, I don't want to be that person.
All right, so let me ask you this. When's the last time you used? And
Maybe.
this is the thing, you need to be honest with me, because
ma'am.
right now we're not on the record, we're having a conversation. And based upon your answers, that's in my mind, I'm gonna think what your levels should be at for marijuana. So just tell me the truth. When's the last time you used?
2 days ago,
All right, and was this with a bunch of friends or by yourself?
just alone. by
All
myself.
right. So here's the thing, Mr. Jenkins, unless you're growing marijuana in your backyard, that means that you had to come in contact with somebody to get marijuana. Do you love your wife?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Really? 100%?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, the Bible says when you have your wife, that's supposed to be your good thing, right? That's what they say in the Bible. So there's something going on in our world called the COVID virus, right? They have
Correct.
this new,
Correct.
they have this new strain, Omicron. They say it's very dangerous, right?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
So let me just tell you what you've done to the woman that you say that you love. You went to a stranger or someone you knew to get marijuana. You made contact with them. And you can't tell me that you were safe with your mask and socially distanced, because you couldn't socially distance because you had to get the marijuana from him. You get that marijuana and you come back to the house to the woman that you say you love, bringing germs that may be the Omicron virus. Don't be that person on the news crying because you think you've given your relative the virus. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
So you're going to have to do better. I'm going to put you in, I'm going to have you tested for levels, and those levels need to start going down. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And we're going to do NA meetings, 90 meetings in 90 days. Do not miss one of those meetings. And I know that they're doing them some by Zoom now. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So just wait right here. I'm going to end up sending you, well, let me send you to breakout room number 1. I want you to wait there patiently. Probation is going to come in and they're going to give you your new conditions, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Judge Boyd,
Yes.
Judge Boyd, just to clarify, we're gonna do NA meetings for 90 days and weekly UAs?
No, we're going to test him for levels. So just test him for levels.
Okay.
All right. All right. So Mr. Jenkins, if you'll go to 1, and before you go to 1, let me go over the other compliance hearings. Okay. All right, Mr. Nguyen. All right, so you want to travel to Las Vegas for a family vacation, January 29th through the 31st? Mr. Nguyen, you need to unmute yourself.
Yes, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes,
So
yes,
you want to travel?
yes, ma'am. I just want to take my wife for a couple of days to Las Vegas trip.
Well,
Because
here's
have
the,
a baby.
yeah, I know. Here's the problem. The problem with you doing that is that you were exited from the BIPP course because you had absences and you've only recently re-enrolled. And so that's re-enrollment for December. So you don't have you don't have enough classes under your belt for me to allow you to go to Vegas on January 29th.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you want to come back closer, probation, if he wants to come back closer to January, the end of, let me see. Let me look at the calendar. Yes, no, I'm sorry, Mr. Nguyen. You're not going to be able to go because January 28th, I'm sorry, 29th is right around the corner. And you haven't done enough battering interventions classes for me to agree to that.
Okay.
So another day, another month, then of course the court will reconsider that. But I know that traveling is very, it's time constraint. Everybody thinks vacations are great and vacations are great, but then tempers run high and other things can happen. So I'm not going to allow you to travel. Once you've done some batterers intervention courses, then the court will reconsider about traveling.
Yeah.
All right. And I'll send you to breakout room number 1 in just a moment.
Judge, I won't need to speak with him.
Okay. All right, Mr. Nguyen, you're excused then. All right.
Can I approach you on Paul Smith, Your Honor?
Just 1 moment. Who is asking the approach?
Attorney Todd McCray, Your Honor, for Paul Smith.
Okay, just give me a moment. Mr. Nguyen? Mr. Nguyen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right, last time you were here, I have on the file that you needed an interpreter. Do you need an interpreter?
No, I don't need one today.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, you're excused.
Judge?
Just a moment.
Okay, I didn't.
No problem. All right, the next person is Abigail Viegas Torres here?
Yes, I'm right here, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, why are you not submitting?
Okay, so I have been submitting and I haven't missed any of the days I've been at home. The only thing is that I just found out that there was 36 of them missing, and I reported them, and I didn't know that they were missing, so the machine wasn't working. And yesterday I had a visit from some probation officers, and I showed them how I was looking at it, that it had passed, and I spoke to my parole officer about that, and I haven't missed one day. So it's a problem with the machine. If I had been aware before, I would have done something. So what I did, I volunteered for a hair follicle test, and I went 2 days ago because it was I believe it was missing between the last couple of days of November and the month of December, that the signal wasn't going through. I make sure that it says pass and my BAC level is 0, but apparently there was the link wasn't going through, and I wasn't aware of that. It wasn't giving me alerts. The officers yesterday said that my machine that I was given was outdated, and that it was old. And so I'm gonna try and do something about it. I'm blowing now twice a day just to make sure that it's going through, and contacting the parole officer. But I did have that hair follicle test just to prove that it's sobriety all the way from November to December. I think it goes back 90 days, and the results will come in a week.
All right, so probation on this, what we're going to do is we're going to alternate amend conditions. There's going to be bi-monthly urinalysis testing for 4 months.
Okay.
And then she will have the PAM device for an additional 2 months.
Okay.
So we're going to continue to monitor Ms. Viegas, but if everything goes well, then the court will consider removing the device, okay?
Thank you so much, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. Just give me a moment. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1, and probation will go over new conditions with you. Is Elizabeth Renero here?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here. Sorry about my fire alert, my smoke detector.
You know what? That battery, I'm not even going to say anything, but everyone, you know, you should change those batteries every year.
Yes. I mean, I feel like I change it twice a month and it still does that.
All right, so this is why you're here. On your case, it was restitution to be determined.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
they're saying that your restitution that you owe to SAPD is $138. Because I granted you from the bench, we did not have that restitution amount. And I always like for people to know what the restitution amount is. If you have any type of objection or you think that restitution amount for drug testing is too high, we can have a hearing on that.
No, that's fine. I could definitely pay that amount. And I'm here also because I had submitted my probation officer actually submitted for early termination of my probation. Because I haven't had any issues with probation, any drug testing, and I've completed everything that the court has asked me.
All right, so first thing first, let's make sure we get the restitution amount, which is $138. And then once that's taken care of, then if your probation officer wants to submit to me a motion to perhaps have your probation early term, the court will consider it.
Okay.
All right,
and
so
where do I pay that at?
Probation is going to let you know. Just give me a moment. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. All right. Is there a Ramon Medina here?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Medina, how are you today?
Hi, Your Honor. This is his granddaughter. He needs an interpreter. He doesn't speak English.
Ah, okay. Thank you so much. Just give us a moment and we'll get him an interpreter, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Probation, if you could go to breakout room number 1, please. And I will send the parties on the compliance hearings to number 1. So to number 1, we'll be going Ms. Viegas Torres. And Elizabeth Raynero. Who are the attorneys who needed to speak with me?
Judge, I'm ready to report back to you from a breakout room, if that's what you're asking.
Yes. All right, James Toshi on Ms. Diaz.
Judge, so we had, I believe, all communicated yesterday. There's definitely been movement. We're asking that the plea deadline be moved. A new offer's been conveyed, and I have had a chance to talk to Ms. Diaz, but not enough. So we're comfortable, Judge, and I think we're both asking the court to move the plea deadline back for however long the court does that. And at that time, we're going to continue to negotiate. Or during that time.
All right, do you have all the discovery?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, can you move Ms. Diaz plea deadline date? And if we could move that date to later in February, late February, is that enough time for both parties?
I would think so, Judge. Yes, ma'am. There's one additional question I had. She's on a GPS and she needs to get a birth certificate and an ID. She lacks those. Do I need to file a motion, or is that something her GPS officer can handle?
Well, if you want to confer with the state to see if there are any issues with that, because I don't have before me what her conditions of GPSR. I don't know if it's just for tracking or something else.
Yeah, it's full house. Judge.
All right, then if you confer with the state and you all agree that she's allowed to do that, the court will sign the order, and that order will be given to the pretrial services. All right, Ms. Diaz, you're going to come back on February 28th. February 28th is your plea deadline date. I've extended it at the request of both defense and state because a new offer has been tendered. So on that date, the court, you will let the court know whether or not you want a jury trial or whether or not you want to accept the state's offer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if there's nothing else, then Ms. Diaz and Mr. Toshi, you're both excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Sure.
Honor, Barry Hitchings for Gregory Moore.
Yes.
I conferred with 88 Brittany Sparks and Probation Officer Solomon. You're going to be receiving a motion to withdraw the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and terminate unsatisfactorily.
Okay, just one moment. Let me see if I've already received that. All right, that has been completed.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Gregory Moore.
Yeah, he's present from the jail.
Yes. So, Mr. Moore, you are no longer on probation. Good luck to you.
Oh, you can hit your space bar and unmute yourself.
Yes, it's the longest key on the keyboard, Mr. Moore. Oh, do you see the space bar on your keyboard? It's the, hi, Mr. Moore. Oh, just hold it down, Mr. Moore. Hold the space bar down, Mr. Moore. It's, hi, Mr. Moore.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Well, Mr. Moore, your probation has been completed. So you should be released from the jail sometime today or at the latest early tomorrow morning. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore, stay out of trouble, okay?
You too.
All right, I'm gonna do my best.
Okay.
Okay, have a good one, Mr. Moore.
Okay. I can be excused, Your Honor.
Yes. Norma, can you let him know L12 can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Robert Guyona.
Judge, I need the breakout room with my client, Javier Rivera.
Okay, and all right, I'm sending him to number 8, and if you'll go back to number 8, please.
Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Who's calling my name?
Melanie Lira.
All right, just give me a moment. Roger Pettis, who do you have?
Judge, I'm with Summer Johnson. I think she's in the courtroom. This is on an MTR, and it was bumped back post a drug test that she performed, I think, 2 days ago.
All right, we'll see what the results were. Just give me a moment.
Thank you.
All right, Cecil Bain.
Yes, Your Honor, I've conferred with Mr. Sanders. We need additional investigation before an offer can be made. So may we get a regular reset?
Where's your client?
In jail. I've conferred with him this morning also.
Okay, let me find him on the
Sorry,
Zoom screen.
I'm sorry. That's Mr. Sanders.
No, I mean your client. What's your client is San Miguel, correct?
San Miguel, yes.
I'm trying to find him on the Zoom.
They were moving people around. They might have released him already.
You know, okay. All right. So on San Miguel, you say the state is not prepared to make an offer yet, correct?
That was correct. That's
right.
not the way it was. He said we needed a little extra investigation before he could make the offer. I don't want to misparaphrase him.
Oh, no, I was doing shorthand when I said that. All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset on Mark San Miguel, please. All right, we're going to come back on February 16th.
February 16th. Yes, Your
Yes. All right, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Ms. Ferguson, San Miguel is not on the screen for some reason, but can you make sure that he is released to
Yes,
go
I'm
back?
call the jail right now. And I'll talk to the deputies.
Thank you.
I did tell him I'd send him a letter with the new reset date, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bain.
February 16th, correct?
Yes.
Stay safe.
All right, you too. Have a great one. All right, Guillermo Lara.
Yes, Judge. Judge,
Yes.
on Mark Barino, we spoke with the prosecutor on the case, and there's a potential resolution, but we need just a little bit of time to discuss it with our client and get some information over to the DA's office.
All right, where is your client?
He should be on, Judge. He did send me a picture of him being on the Zoom.
I'm here.
All right, thank you. What extra time are you asking for?
Judge, if we can have about 30 days, I think that should be more than.
all the parts. You could do it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset for Mr. Barino?
That's all they're gonna do.
All right, we're gonna come back on February 16th.
Okay, Judge.
All right, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Melanie Lara.
Yes, Judge. I was just wanting to see if I could get permission to log off while I find my client. I know you're giving me till
Yes.
10:30. Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
All right, Jeannie Bloomster.
Yes, Judge, I confirmed with the state, and we got an offer. And I know and Joanne and I both need more time to go over these videos with him so we can decide what he wants to do on the case. So if we could have 30 days, I think.
All right, where is Mr. Cedillo?
He went to the 175th to confer. He had to go actually back to the courthouse to confirm.
No, I mean,
He's
where's
home.
your client, Mr. Cedillo?
Oh, he's here. He's on video. He's under Marcy Martinez.
He was under Marcy Martinez. He may have
Sorry,
been stuck in
you're
the
back.
breakout room.
Okay, let me find him. Let me get him back to the main session. All right, Mr. Cedillo, I need you to unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so defense, do you have an offer?
Yes, Judge.
All right, and that offer encompasses all of his cases?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. So this is reset today. Well, do you have all the discovery in all of the cases, everyone?
On Joanne de Hoyos' case, I believe we have everything, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Bloomster?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so we're going to come back on these cases on February 16th. That is going to be your plea deadline date. The court will
Okay.
not extend plea deadlines in this case any further. Mr. Sadia, at that time, you need to let the court know whether or
Yeah,
not you're accepting the state's offer or not. I will not consider a plea after that point. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. What date is that?
That's going to be, oh, sorry, they tell the court coordinator, I'm staying in my lane. She tells me we will be back on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So hopefully no one had any plans for that date. Because Ms. Ferguson has just told you your plan is going to be in this courtroom. So
Okay.
we're going to come back on February 14th, Mr. Sadeo, and that
Okay,
is
ma'am.
your plea deadline date. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So whatever decision you're going to make, you need to have made it by that point in time.
Okay.
All right, if there's nothing else, defense, you and your client are excused.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
They say I busted creeps in the forest, assassinate them. I'm first to be paid anyways.
Who has their, here we go. Okay. To this. All right, Mr. Jenkins, you have your hand up for some reason? You're on mute, Mr. Jenkins.
Yes, ma'am. I was just wondering if I would finish, just got off with Ms. Ferguson and sign my paperwork. But when
If you sign your paperwork, then you're done. You're excused. All right,
Thank
good
you.
luck. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so everyone, just give me a moment. All right, Mr. Cabanos, you have been patiently waiting. And
morning,
your
Judge.
good morning. Your first client is for the sentencing, Mr. Enriquez, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And he's in custody?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me see if I see him. What is his first name?
Victor?
I don't see him on the Zoom. As soon as he comes on Zoom, we'll take that matter up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Judge, I do need another breakout room with a prosecutor, please.
Okay, so I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Will Brooks. With the
Morning,
yellowish
Judge.
hand.
Judge, I have Mr. Randolph Mosley this morning, and I'm conferring with Joe Ray.
Yes.
And we have one discovery issue that we're working through, Judge. Also, I've tried to do 2 Zooms with Mr. Mosley to run through videos particularly, and they've gotten canceled and or rescheduled. So I'm just asking for a short reset to be able to go through those things and finish that discovery item, Judge.
All right, and if there are ever any issues with the video or something and you want to do it on the court Zoom, just let the court know. We'll put you in a breakout room to make that happen.
Good to know. Thank you, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Mosley, can we reset this for 1 month, please? All right, we're going to come back on Valentine's Day.
I'll bring chocolates and flowers, Judge. Digitally.
Hey, don't make that promise and not keep it. Although I'm trying to
Wouldn't.
diet. Brenna, did I just not give my diet speech and he's peer pressure?
The best kind of pressure.
All right, so we're going to come back on February 14th, and that's for you to review discovery.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes. Norma, can you let them know CH4 can go back? Mr. Mosley, we'll see you on Valentine's Day.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right, Gail Calderola.
Thank you, Judge. I have Megan Wilhite, and I conferred with Meredith. Is she present in the courtroom, Judge? Because I have had no contact with her, and I called a Cowboy Bail Bonds, which was one of her most recent bonds in November. And they haven't heard from her either. But I have a number for her now, and I've called that number several times, and there's no answer. So I don't know how to get a hold of her.
Okay, well, I give everyone till 10:30. So let's take up your case, Raul Fernandez.
And let me tell you something else about this. I couldn't get an offer today because there's an outstanding, there's a new warrant, there's a new number 1, but they have not filed it yet. And so Meredith wanted to see what that was when it got filed and take it all up together.
Okay, just 1 second. Let me find him.
And it's going to be filed at large because they apparently can't find her either.
Okay, so, well, wait a minute. Are we talking about Mr. Fernandez or are we talking
No, we're talking about Meredith. I just finished on, no, we're talking about Ms. Wilhite, which I just finished up with. Okay, and I have to be in some other courts this morning. So, I mean, if I could finish up with her, that would be good. I did
sure.
call bail bonds.
We will take that up. Just give me one moment. So your next client, Mr. Fernandez.
Yeah, she's in custody, Your Honor, and I conferred with Meredith on that, and they couldn't make me an offer because she's researching an out-of-county conviction to see if it can be enhanced. So that's what I got there.
All right. So Mr. Fernandez, can you unmute for me, please?
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you. You were raising your hand. Was there something you wanted to say?
No, I was just, could you say my name?
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you so
sorry.
much. No problem.
I got it. I'll just hold it.
So we're going to give you a reset, Mr. Fernandez, because there are some other cases that may be out of county and the state wants to look into those. And I see that you have some cases that haven't been cited yet. So Ms. Ferguson, can I have a reset date for Mr. Fernandez?
Shoulder.
All right, so we're going to see you back on Valentine's Day. And at that time, the state will be prepared to make an offer. Mr. Fernandez, do you
Yes,
have
ma'am.
some questions?
I was gonna say, it's not an out of county warrant. They're just looking at because I've been to prison. That's
Well,
what it
no,
really is.
here's the thing, Mr. Fernandez, your attorney probably doesn't want you saying certain things on screen. That's why you have an attorney. The other thing is that anytime that you've gone to prison, there's a potential that your case can be enhanced. When I say case enhanced, I mean range of punishment. So the case I have before me today is a possession that is a 3rd-degree felony. So with the prison trip, if a prison trip has occurred and you've been convicted, then your range of punishment would be that of a 2nd degree. So the state is looking into that. That's what's going on, and they don't have that information, so they're not prepared to make an offer. So what's going to happen is we're going to come back on February 14th. On that date, the state is required to make an offer, and they will make an offer, and you can accept it or reject it. And this will give your attorney a chance to look into discovery on your case. So we'll
Ma'am,
back on February 14th. Yes.
I mean, I can't do it today.
No, the state is not making an offer.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fernandez. Norma,
Thank
can you
you,
let
ma'am.
them know that CH3 can go back?
And thank you.
Is there a prosecutor available on Wilhite, please?
That I talked to Meredith.
Yeah, just give me a moment. Is there a prosecutor available to put this on the record?
I am, Judge.
Thank you. Court is going to call 2020 CR 2272, State of Texas versus Megan Wilhite. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Dale Calderola for Megan Wilhite.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 10:16 a.m. Deputy Laura or Deputy Mejia, has there been a Megan Hayes Wilhite in the courtroom?
No, Your Honor, she has not.
And there has not been a Megan Hayes Wilhite on the Zoom screen as well. Defense, have you had any contact with your client or tried to contact your client?
I have not had contact, but I have tried to contact her, and I contacted Cowboy Bail Bonds. I got another phone number for her and was not able to get an answer. And they also said that they haven't heard from her.
All right, state.
At this time, the state would ask that you forfeit the bond and issue a warrant.
All right, that will be granted, and I'll remand your client without bond. If your client makes an appearance to the court in person or a Zoom, the court will reconsider. With that, we'll close the record on this case. Happy Friday.
Thank you, Judge.
Great rest of your day to your cases.
May I be excused? Thank
Yes,
you.
you're excused.
Thank you.
Joseph Acevedo, who do you have?
Leon Smalls, Your Honor.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
Criminal Trial Division, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Charles Mays.
Yes, Your Honor. I visited with the Marcus Sanders. He's requesting a reset. He needs to contact his victim and visit with his victim, Judge. So that's where we're at right now, Your Honor.
Where's your client?
Your Honor, he was in jail, and I think I might have prematurely told him that he could go back to tell deputies to send him back to jail.
Okay, attorneys do not send people back until the court excuses them. The court is the one who excuses people. Because now your client is not going to know the reset date. Ms. Ferguson, can you see if they can bring Mr. Thomas Manning back, please?
Yes, ma'am, I can try, but they're having a shortage of computers right now, Judge. So it might be just a few minutes. I can try. Give me 1 second.
All right, thank you. Robert Guyona.
We need to see if we can get a reset date for the DA to offer at this time. And we anticipate we'll be able to work out something after that.
All right, just give me a moment. I'm trying to have your client come to the.
Probably no more than a few weeks or.
All right, I'm trying to have your client come to the main room. He's still in breakout room number 8.
Okay.
Just give me a moment. Mr. Rodriguez, your client, Lori McCutcheon, she doesn't know how to use Zoom, and she was laying in bed on Zoom.
Okay. May I get in a breakout room with her, Your Honor?
She's not on, we just have a picture of a ceiling. Mr. Guyana, could you go back to breakout room number 8, please, and have your client come to the main room? Okay. She's not answering the Zoom at all, Mr. Rodriguez. As you can see, there's just a picture of a ceiling fan.
I see. Let me call her, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is there anyone else who's ready?
Yeah, this is Catherine Bond, so I can make an announcement.
Yes.
I'm here on Christy Trevino. I believe we have a plea, but Miss Trevino has a really bad toothache, and she's not being able to, like, we'd ask if we could come back next week and take care of this.
All right, you need to have her come out of breakout room number 17.
All right, let me get her. Yeah, it's Catherine Valenzuela again. She wasn't in the room. I don't know, Ms. Trevino.
Yes. Just one moment.
Judges Robert, he's not, it's a blurry screen with an inmate that has his back to me in the corner of the screen. So my client is not sitting in front of the screen he was.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to get your client here. What's your client's full name? It's Rivera, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Javier Rivera.
All right, and Ms. Ferguson, we also need Javier Rivera back, please.
Okay, Judge, it's gonna be a few minutes, Judge.
Okay, so everyone, do not tell your client they're excused. The only person who can tell your client that they're excused is the judge. Inmates, do not tell the deputies that you're excused. The only person who can say that you're excused is the judge. All right, Ms. Trevino?
Yes.
Yes, do you want to go forward with this plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Valenzuela, can we get the plea done today?
I had been told that she had a toothache and she wanted it to be reset, but if
I can do it.
Okay, if she wants to go forward today and you want to go forward today, Ms. Valenzuela will go forward today. So if you can put in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson what the agreement is, and Ms. Trevino, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4, and your attorney can meet you there to go over paperwork.
Okay.
Sure. And then Mr. Rodriguez will wait for your client.
Your Honor, my office is calling her right now, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, everyone, the court is going to take a 5-minute break.
It was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Your Honor, may I have a moment? This is Joseph
Yes.
Appelt. I'm
Yes.
still waiting on paperwork to come from Meredith, and I'm supposed to be zooming into County Court 4 on a case about 30 minutes ago. I let them know I was going to be late. Can I bump over there real quick and then zoom back in on this?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
Judge.
I didn't
Appreciate
know
it.
until right now that you accepted it, so.
I'm sorry, what now? What?
I said I didn't get the message until right now.
Oh, okay. That'll work then. Then I'll bump the County Court 4 and I'll come right back in. But I'll let my client know that that's where I'm going to be. So I'll go back into the breakout room.
Well, let me ask you, is your client an inmate?
He is.
Okay, so they're shorthanded, so Meredith will get to the paperwork to you right now.
Okay,
Ms.
so I'll wait
Ferguson,
here then.
and we'll take it up.
I'll wait here then, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, on Thomas Manning, Mr. May.
Yes, Your Honor, visited with Marcus Sanders, and he's needing time to get a hold of his victim, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a month reset for Mr. Manning? All right, we're going to come back on February 14th. And at that time, the state will make an offer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
May we
Norma,
be
you can let
excused.
them know, yes, you can let them know 14J can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and here is Mr. Rivera.
I'm back.
All right.
I don't know what happened, Judge. I guess maybe y'all found him, but there was nothing but me on the other screen.
All right, he's here. What is happening with Mr. Mr. Rivera?
Judge, we have a tentative offer, but the prosecutor would like to look at some videos to understand why there may or may not have been another charge associated with this case. If the videos are favorable, we'll get a better offer, she indicates. So we just need a few weeks to maybe come back for a plea.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you recall Mr. Rivera in 2 weeks, please? All right, we're going to recall it for February 1st.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Are we excused?
Yes. Norma, can you let them know that 17B can go back? Mr. Rivera, we're going to see you back on February 1st.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Judge, I see Mr. Watson's there now. Can you put me in a breakout room so I can discuss my motion to withdraw with him?
Okay. I'll send you to breakout room number 6.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Watson, you're welcome. Mr. Watson, if you can go to breakout room number 6, please.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other attorney who is ready?
Your Honor, this is Alfonso Cabañas. I just need to make an announcement on 2 cases.
Yes.
The first one, Your Honor, is Laura Martinez, family violence. I confer with Joe Ray, and that will be a plea shortly.
Okay. And then we're trying to see where your client Enriquez is.
Okay, and then the other one, Your Honor, is Jose Gonzalez, a recall from yesterday. That's criminal trial division. I confer with Marcus, and there's no update yet. We're still working on some, I guess, on some documents, and they need to talk to the next of kin on his case.
All right, Jose Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me see if I see him on the docket.
Judge, he's on the recall, way on the first page at the bottom.
Oh, I don't have the full docketing sheet, I guess. All right. What is the cause number?
I'll put it in the chat, Judge.
And is your client on bond or in custody?
Both Ms. Martinez and Mr. Gonzalez are in custody, Your Honor.
All right, where is Mr. Gonzalez? Have you conferred with him today?
No, Judge. I suppose he may have not been brought over since he was a recall from yesterday. But I do plan on seeing him at the jail after Zoom.
Okay, well, as soon as I get the file on Jose Gonzalez.
And
then
Judge,
we will
I
go
did,
for it.
and I'm sorry to interrupt, Judge. They, I did call the jail. They are working on getting him. They were just shorthanded on computers, Judge.
Mr. Rodriguez on Ms. McCutcheon.
Your Honor, we called 3 times. I don't even see her on here anymore, Judge. I don't know what's going on. Trying to get a hold of her, Judge. I did see what you saw, the ceiling with the ceiling fan, and then nothing. I don't know if there's problems over there, but I'm trying to find out, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Cabanas, on Jose Gonzalez, what is the cause number?
Yes, Judge. Let me get there for you. My apologies.
Thank you, no problem.
Judge, it is 2021 CR 9982.
All right, to the clerks, could I have 2021 CR 9982, please? Thank you. So what is happening with Mr. Jose Gonzalez?
Judge, I've been conferring with the state. They do have their file. Mr. Sanders told me that they need to reach out to the next of kin in this case. So we're still working on this case, Judge.
All right, this is not a case that resulted in death.
It is, Judge, yes.
I mean, it's charged with an assault. Is somebody, is there another case that I'm unaware of?
There's 3 cases, Judge. Let me get the numbers.
So, yeah. Just give me a moment. They're gonna bring the other cases.
Judge, can I approach you on Paul Smith?
Just give me a moment. I have 82. Okay. All right, just one moment, Mr. Cabanas. They're looking for the file. And everyone put patience in your pocket. Thank you. All right, I have the files, Mr. Cabanas. So, you said the state is reaching out to the next of kin.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so do you have all the discovery?
I believe so, Judge. According to my notes, our first court setting was back in December. The state did not have the file yet. But I have been getting discovery through the portal. And so I don't believe there's anything new, but I'm sure Marcus or Tom will update me if there's any new discovery.
All right. And so I'm assuming the state is not prepared to make an offer. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
All right. So Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Gonzalez, can I have a 1-month reset, please? And this is Jose Constancio Gonzalez. All right, we're going to come back on February 15th.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, just give me a moment. And is Roger Perez eating food and none of us had breakfast? He's exercising his Fifth Amendment rights.
Exactly, Your Honor. It must have been a slip of the tongue, pun intended.
All right, so we've taken care of that, Mr. Cabanas. Who is your other person?
And then Laura Martinez, Your Honor, family violence. We reached a plea agreement with Joe Ray. And once I get the paperwork, I'll sign it and review with my client.
Okay, and so we're just still waiting for your client, Victor. Once he comes on, we'll take care of that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, now Roger Perez on Summer Johnston, have you been given the updates on her UA?
I have not. I anticipated it's a negative drug test. We're not too concerned about that, but if the CLO could just kind of confirm that for us, that would be wonderful.
All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. That's where probation is, but if you'll just be patient because she's in there with a prosecutor and defense attorney.
Great, we'll do that.
Thank you. All right, Mr. McCray.
Good morning again, Your Honor. I have Paul Smith. I've conferred with Marcus about the bond issue. Marcus and I agree to the original bond amount, which is the 25.
All right, if you will send an order to the court through email, the agreed order, and the court will sign it.
I will have to do that later this afternoon, Your Honor.
And just 1 moment. Let me see if I've already given you a date on Mr. Smith. Just 1 moment. Thank you. All right, so Mr. Smith, I'm going to give you a reset date. Your attorney is going to submit to the court the agreed order for the bond. Mr. McCray, as soon as that's given to the court, I'll sign it.
Yes,
And
Judge.
and where are we with discussions of the case itself, Mr. McCray?
Judge, I'm hoping the court will see that we need to resolve this fugitive status first instead of putting Mr. Smith in a position to where he would have to resolve this before we get him back on bond. We do have.
No, I understand what you're saying, but this case needs a date. Otherwise, this case is going to be on limbo. The case may end up falling through the cracks. Now, what I'm assuming that you're going to get me that motion today. If I receive it today, I'll sign it today. The clerks will put it in the system today.
I'm okay with a new date, Judge. All
right. So I'm trying to figure out, where are we? Have you received all the discovery? Because I have in the notes that an offer was tendered. So that's been done. And then on the 13th, there was an off bond. So now we're here today, and I have an offer as being tendered back in October. And it was reset for December 1st. And then it was reset for reset for January 13th. So have you received all the discovery?
I have received the discovery that the DA has provided in the e-discovery system, and we have an offer. We haven't accepted it yet, but we're still considering that offer.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Paul Smith. If we can recall this, please, in 2 weeks and see where we are. All right, we're going to come back on February 1st. And that is not a plea deadline date. That's to see where we are. And after that date, I'm going to give you a plea deadline date, Mr. Smith. And if there is nothing else, you and your client are excused.
Hey, did you say February 1st, Your Honor?
February 1st.
Okay, thank you,
All
Judge.
right, you're welcome. All right, Mr. Medina, we're just waiting for the interpreter. Once the interpreter comes here, I'll take that matter up. All right, thank you. I haven't forgotten about him. All right, and it appears that Ms. McCutcheon may be back. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Pettis.
Great news, Judge. We believed it was negative, and so there's not an issue regarding, as she had represented to the court the other day, about any drug usage. So we're comfortable about that, but we would like to have you, consider something short of what the recommendation of the probation is.
Okay. All right, and who is the prosecutor on this case, please? On Summer Johnson.
Joe Ray, I think.
Yes, Judge.
You're done?
She said my attorney was on trial. She said, "You want to reset it?" I said, "Yeah." She said she's gonna talk to the judge.
She's not even good. I just saw her.
Just 1 second. Thank you. All right, so we're going to go back on the record on 2017 CR 10483, State of Texas versus Summer Johnson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ray Garcia.
For the defense?
Roger Pettis for Summer Johnson, Your Honor.
All right, and you, Ms. Johnson? Are you Ms. Johnson?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
All right, we were here On January 12th, the defendant entered a plea to violations 1 and 7. She entered a plea of true. This case was recalled for today at 9 a.m. because there were some questions that the court had. One, the court wanted the defendant to take a urinalysis test. Defense attorney has told me that he has spoken to probation and those urinalysis came back as negative. The other issue was as it relates to the assault case that's out of county. So is there an update on that? Because at the last hearing, defense informed the court that the defendant said that that case was dismissed.
If I may, I forwarded to Mr. Garcia a copy of the Tarrant County pending matters, and their only pending matter is a failure to ID. Mr. Garcia confirmed this morning that he indeed received that document. So there is no assault pending, but there is a failure to ID still pending in Tarrant County.
All right. So, Mr. Garcia, are you aware that that case has been dismissed?
Judge, on their system, that is the only thing pending. We did reach out to see, I don't know if it's in their intake, but as far as pending cases, and they're on the same date, it's only the failure to ID.
Okay.
I think generally that was the only thing that there was a potential because there was an argument that their understanding was that something was going to be filed on that, but it was not.
All right. And knowing that, State, are you still requesting revocation?
Yes, Judge, we are. And we'd also like to, she is on deferred for a violent offense, and because whether it's picked up or not, we would ask for a no contact order with the complainant.
All right. And who is the complainant?
Let me, just 1 second, Judge, I have the window open.
Thank you.
Judge, it may be Sarah Alfaro. That's her fiance. And we would
That's
be,
it, Judge. And I'm sorry, it was taking a while to pull up the report, but that is her name.
we would be in agreement, a complete agreement to no harmful and injurious contact, but they reside together. In fact, she moved back from Fort Worth or moved from Fort Worth to San Antonio to reside together, and everything has been going well. In fact, she's been extremely supportive, and that's been part of why Ms. Johnson is doing much better now. She went through a little spin with some issues in her family, some passings, and she admitted to the court the last time we were in court that she was going through some issues, but now she's much more stable. And part of that is the relationship with Sarah Alfaro. So we would be in complete agreement with no harmful injurious contact. She understands the mistake she's made. She paid up all the money on this matter, not to repeat to the court. The bid prep is complete. There have been no positive drug test, and even as of Wednesday, it's still negative, and she's not using that. And she's been responding and addressing all the GPS issues. And so we would just ask if Your Honor could consider some sort of penalty short of the revocation. I think if you just monitor her strictly, I think you're going to find she'll be off probation soon enough.
All right, Ms. Johnson, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I'm sorry, you need to speak up.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you could lower your hand, please. All right, could you state your name for the record?
Summer Johnson.
All right, do you have family here in San Antonio?
I do. I have 2 sisters and a mother.
All right, so this is what the court is going to do in this case, unless there are any other questions for Ms. Johnson from the state or the defense.
I'm from the state, Judge.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, as previously stated, the court found 1 and 7 true. Court will deny the motion. Court is going to alter and amend conditions. And there's going to be no contact with Sarah Alfaro. Mr. Perez, if your client wants to have contact with her, the court doesn't do normally no harmful or injurious contact in violent cases unless the complainant is aware that there is a chance that there can be a no contact order if a no contact order is asked for. So I want to hear from the complainant that the complainant wants Miss Johnson there. I understand that that's her fiance, but I don't have enough information to put in no harmful or injurious contact. And I think it's better to be cautious as opposed to just saying no harmful or injurious contact. Because honestly, I don't know if she's living with her fiance or not. I don't have any of that. I don't have any of the facts before me to show me proof that they've been living together, to show me proof that they're getting along with each other, to show me proof that Miss Alfaro wants to continue a relationship with her. So, Miss Johnson, you're not going to be allowed to live with Miss Alfaro until we have a hearing as it relates to that matter. So for now, there's to be no contact. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it possible that we could reset this hearing for about 20 minutes and I'll try to see if she can jump on Zoom? She's
If you would like to.
Summer, do you know if Sarah's available? She's been generally very responsive.
She literally brought me here. She's waiting outside the courthouse.
Oh, wow. Then could we just reset this for 15 minutes and get her into the
Yes,
courtroom?
but I don't want the complainant in the courtroom with Miss Johnson. I would like for Miss Johnson to be by Zoom. And Mr. Perez, I would like for you to be the person to contact Miss Alfaro.
I will do that right now, Judge.
And Miss Johnson, you're to remain in the courtroom.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, John Young, who do you have?
Your Honor, I have Beth Martinez. You asked us to come at 11 o'clock today on a hearing on the conditions of her probation.
Okay, just give me a moment. It has turned into a complicated Friday. All right, so we have the interpreter here for Mr. Medina.
Yes, Your Honor.
Viola?
All right, so on this one, we don't need a record. This is a compliance hearing. And let me pull that up.
Un poquito más recio.
Okay. All right, Ms. Nero, this is Ramon Medina.
Yes, Your Honor.
And just before you start interpreting, I want to give you an idea of what I'm going to be saying to him. The only thing I'm going to let him know is that his restitution payments, the remainder that he owes, is going to go to Raquel Ibarra. Because the spouse, her husband is deceased.
Okay.
So that's all I'm here to let him know.
Miss Ibarra's husband is deceased. Okay.
Yes. So his restitution payments will go to Mr. Ibarra's wife instead.
Okay.
And Judge, whenever she's done, can I see him in a breakout room so I can make that a condition?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So this is Mr. Ramon Medina.
Este es el señor Ramón Medina.
Right. Mr. Medina. You are paying restitution.
Señor Medina, usted está pagando restitución.
And that restitution was being paid to Alfonso Ibarra.
Y esa restitución se ha estado pagando al señor Alfonso Ibarra.
Mr. Alfonso Ibarra is now deceased.
El señor Alfonso Ibarra falleció, está muerto.
So those restitution payments will be made to Raquel Ibarra, his wife.
Entonces esos pagos de restitución ahora se van a tener que hacer a la señora Raquel Ibarra, la esposa de él.
And the amount of restitution you owe
Y la cantidad de restitución que usted debe
will be, let me pull up the calculator.
Ok, va a ser la siguiente. La jueza está usando una calculadora.
Will be $440.
Va a ser de $440.
Do you have any questions?
¿Tiene preguntas, señor Medina?
Pues no, no más voy a pagarlo. Como estoy ahorita, así voy a seguir pagando. No hay más.
Well, no, I'm just going to continue paying.
Yes.
Porque no tengo que pagar directamente a la señora esa, ¿verdad? Va a ser igual los pagos que voy a estar dando.
So I am not going to pay directly to her. I'm just going to continue paying the way I've been paying.
Yes.
Sí.
All right, if there is nothing else, then Mr. Medina, you are going to go to breakout room number 2.
Ok, y si no hay nada más, señor Medina, ahorita se va a tener que conectar a una sesión privada. La sesión privada número 2 le va a llegar una invitación.
A ver, correcto.
And
It's fine,
probation,
correct.
thank you. And probation will have work for you to paperwork for you to sign.
Y una representante del Departamento de Libertad Condicional va a tener unos documentos que usted tiene que firmar.
Muy bien, está bueno.
Very
Okay.
well, it's fine.
All right, and Ms. Darrow, can you ask him to have his granddaughter send him to breakout room number 2?
Ok, señor Medina, por favor, vaya, conéctese a la sesión privada con su nieta.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
And Ms. Darrow, if you could go to number 2, please, as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Judge, when you have a chance, I'd like to report back on Mr. Watson.
All right, thank you. Everyone, please be patient. We are moving as quickly as possible. And I'm trying to find your client, Mr. Watson.
Judge, he may have stayed in he was in the breakout room with me.
All right, I've just requested for him to come back to the main room.
Okay.
And Robert, I'm sending the paperwork on Gonzalez to you now. You're welcome. All right, what is the update on Mr. Watson?
Judge, I talked to Mr. Watson. It's come to my attention. I think I'm the third lawyer on this case. I was appointed, it looks out of term because the previous appointed lawyer on. I talked to Mr. Watson. I'm going to stay on his case. I'd like to withdraw my motion to withdraw. I conferred with Marcus about some discovery issues, and he's going to make me an offer. I am also waiting the results of a competency evaluation. Judge, I talked to Mr. Watson. His mother lives in Ohio, and he has a place to stay at Haven for Hope. he can't afford to post bond, I'd ask the court to grant him a PR bond with GPS and allow him to reside at Haven for Hope.
Okay, so just one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. So do you have all the discovery?
Judge, we were checking, Marcus was checking on the availability of some surveillance footage from the apartment, but it does not exist any longer, and police never picked it up. So that's a little bit problematic. So other than that, I do believe I have everything, Judge. Marcus is going to talk to the alleged victims about an offer. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't know what that offer is going to be, and once I get that, I'll be able to sit down and talk with Mr. Watson. It's just going to be easier, obviously, if the court would consider releasing him on a PR bond.
All right, Ms. Ferguson or Mr. Watson, can I have a 30-day reset, please? Is that enough time, Mr. Mauer?
It should be, Judge.
All right, so we're going to come back on February 15th. And have you conferred with the state on the bond, a request for a PR bond?
Yes, I told Marcus I was going to ask for a PR bond. I don't think he had a position on it.
Okay, so if you all can see what you can agree to, and if you can't agree to something, let the court know. If you'll file the motion requesting the PR bond, Mr. Mauer, we'll hear it as soon as possible.
Okay, I'll get it filed today, Judge.
All right, thank you. Is there anything else with this?
I mean,
all right, so Mr. Watson, your attorney is going to file that motion. If he and the state are able to come up with an agreement on a bond amount, then they both will email me the agreement. I'll sign it. It'll be placed in the system. Otherwise, once your attorney files that motion will probably be set before your next court date of February 15th, okay?
You're on mute, Andre.
Thank you, ma'am. I really do appreciate that, or your honor.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thank you, Robert. I appreciate it.
I'll call your mom.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Make sure you stay in contact, Mr. Watson.
I will. I promise I will. I will.
Okay.
All right.
Norma, L12 can go back.
Thank you.
All right, do you have anything else? All right, everyone, let me take up this plea with Mr. Pelt and Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Brawback, who do you have?
I have Donovan Timothy Castro.
Criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal trial.
That's a sentencing.
Is it sentencing?
Okay. Have you received the PSI report?
Yes, ma'am, I have, and I've reviewed it.
All right, just give me a moment. We'll take that up.
Okay.
All right, who's the prosecutor on Joseph Appelt? Where did Joseph Appelt go?
Judge, if I may speak, can I speak to Robert Brawback, please?
What is Mr. Castro? I'll send you to breakout room number 5. Yes. Yes. Okay. All right, Derek Edmonds.
Hello, Judge. On Xavier Alcaraz, we're working on paperwork, but I do need paperwork from the court whenever the court gets a chance for the permission to or agreement to have a demo video conference as well as the trial court certification.
All right, just put it in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson and she will get that to you.
I did do that, Judge, already. I'm assuming she's pretty tied up right now.
All right, thank you. We'll make that happen.
Okay.
Judge Boyd, we're done with Medina. Can he be excused?
Yes. All right, John Young. you have Beth Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
And who is the prosecutor on Miss Martinez?
I don't know whether I haven't talked to a prosecutor. I've talked to the probation department.
Oh, okay. I thought you were here for sentencing. That's what they said. Okay.
No, Your Honor. What it was that she had been continued on probation or put on probation on an aggravated assault, and that there was initially a MIOF/DDRF referral, and that had been changed at some point to a SADIF. And
right.
She's going to have to wait a long time to do that. And she's got her medication straightened out, and her family needs her.
So what has been happening with the treatment bed?
She was received her medications now, and she is on her medications for anxiety and depression. And she's assured me that she will continue to do that.
All right. Where is probation?
I'm here, Judge.
Can you tell me what is the wait time on a treatment bed?
Yes, let me get that for you.
Because I see here that there was supposed to be a Tacoma evaluation on January 4th. That's the last thing I received.
As of now, it's 2 weeks after medical and legal clearance.
Okay. So, Mr. Young, what we're going to do is we're going to recall this in 2 weeks. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 2-week reset on Ms. Martinez? And if we can not put it in the system so she won't lose her spot. And we'll see where we are, Mr. Young, because I don't want to set her up for failure, because what I discovered is that people are on medication, and then once they are out and about, they are no longer on medication.
Ma'am, if I may.
Yes.
I have 2 little girls that since I've been incarcerated, CPS has got involved. I also, if I get released, I do have to do parenting. I have to do alcohol and drug treatment, and I also have to see a therapist.
Mhm.
I really believe if I get let out, I can stay on the right track and do what I need to do, because my daughter is in a foster home right now.
All right, I understand.
And my father has stage 4 colon cancer, and he has nobody to help him.
No, I understand what you're saying, Ms. Martinez, but I need you to internalize what I'm saying to you. You're here for an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and that deadly weapon was a knife. And your mother in the report says that you grabbed a knife and threatened kill her, threatened to slit her throat. So I have to make sure that you're on the right medications. If you're not on the right medications, then you can't be, the best parent that you can be. So we're going to come back on February 28th, and we're going to see where we are. So, Mr. Yan, on February 28th, if you could do me a favor, if you can make sure, because CPS is involved, see if you can have the CPS worker come in so that I can make sure to sort of mesh the conditions that I'm asking for with CPS. If she has a chance of obtaining custody of her children back, I don't want to interfere with that by having her in custody. But what I do know, if CPS is having therapy for her mental health treatment, then this mental health treatment that she's receiving now will count towards that.
Your Honor, I believe her mother is in the waiting room. If you'd like to talk to her, or if you want to wait until the 28th.
Let's wait until the 28th and see if you can have the CPS caseworker here.
You know that I don't have any connections in that system because
Oh,
I'm
no,
too
if you, well, I will tell you this, Mr. Young, if you will contact, I think it's room over there, it's room 306 or either 206 and 304. If you call over there, they will let you know who her caseworker is. If you give them her name, they'll be able to pull it up. Or usually those cases too are listed by the name of the oldest child in the interest of, and then have the oldest child's name. But they should be able to pull it up by the name of the parent as well. Excuse me. Ms. Ferguson is saying February 2nd for Ms. Martinez.
And I would very much appreciate that. That would be a much faster turnaround.
All right, so we'll be back on February 2nd. So if you can get the caseworker to zoom in so we can find out what's happening over there.
And would you like the mother to also be available, Your Honor?
Yes, that would be great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is it possible that I can still get out on bond?
No. And let me ask you this, who is your attorney on the CPS case?
I actually have all the information right here.
All right, so who is your attorney over there?
First on everything, okay?
It doesn't have his information on here.
Do you know his name or her name?
No, I do not.
All
I'll try and
right.
track it down, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Young. Norman, can you let them know L21 can go back?
That you already? Yeah. Nice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Attorney, we'll go ahead and reset Cesar Gomez. I believe that was the first setting.
Thank you so much, John.
Judge, this is Roger Pettis on the Summer Johnson matter. And so
Yes,
Sarah
just give me a
Alvarado-
moment. Just one moment. Mr. Stenberg, what is your client's name?
We don't have a cross guide or anything yet.
I'm sorry, what?
What is your client's name?
Alexander Gregory,
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
family violence.
I'm going to send you to breakout room number 8.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Ms. Nero, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate all the help.
You're welcome. Mr. Medina already signed the paperwork. And so we're done, Judge.
All right, thank you. Yes, have a
You're
great
welcome.
rest of your week.
But may I address Mr. Medina and let him know that he can disconnect?
I think he is gone.
No, he's still there.
All right, yes, please.
Ok, señor Medina, ya terminamos, señor Medina, ya puede desconectar, ¿ok?
Gracias.
Sí, de nada. Dígale a su nieta que ya puede desconectar.
Okay.
Ok, gracias. Bye bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Sawyer, who do you have?
Good morning, Your Honor. I have La Queen Hyson, if I could confer with one of the ADAs.
Last name Tyson.
Hyson, Hyson, Your Honor. Cause number is 2021 1149-0.
Is it criminal trial division or family violence?
This is a criminal, ma'am. It's an aggravated robbery.
Okay. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Plea Office Marshal, who do you have?
Balderramo Serrato.
Criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal trial division. It's a drug case.
All right. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6.
Very well. Thank you.
All right. To the courtroom. If you're ready. On Miss Summer. Ms. Alfaro, I need you to show your video. All right, we're back on the record in 2017 CR 10483. The court was altering and amending conditions, and one of those conditions was to include no contact with Sarah Alfaro, and the court does not do no harmful or injurious contact until the court has received information from the complainant in the case. So now we have Ms. Sarah Alfaro here. Ms. Alfaro, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. If you could state your name and spell it for the record, please.
It's Sarah Alfaro, S-A-R-A-H, Alfaro, A-L-F-A-R-O.
All right, defense questions?
Ms. Alfaro, do you currently reside with Summer Johnson?
Yes.
Do you have any fear of your personal safety residing with Ms. Johnson?
No.
Okay. You understand that she's in a serious situation on her probation? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Have you been trying to assist her with her completing of the requirements for her probation?
Yes.
And you'll continue to do that?
Yes.
Okay, I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, state any questions?
Yes, Judge, just briefly. Ms. Alfaro, is Summer Johnson abusive?
No.
Okay. On September 17, 2021, did she call you?
I'm sorry, what was that?
In Tarrant County, the case that she picked up, did she assault you on September 17th of 2021?
No, we had a light argument and the neighbors had called the police because we were yelling. I had loaned her some money to help her pay her probation. And I had got a little upset and we started yelling and they called the police.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, any follow-up questions from the defense?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Alfaro, I denied the motion to revoke Ms. Johnson's probation. As a part of the conditions of probation, I can make it where she will not have any contact with you. So if you have concerns about your safety, I can make it where she won't have any contact with you. Do you understand?
Yes.
So once she leaves this courthouse today, I can make it where immediately when she walks out this door, she not have any contact with you in person, by phone, by social media, or any of that. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So would you like me to make it so she has no contact with you?
No, we actually live together and I've been like her support system. I had pushed her to finish all her classes. Been pushing her to like get a job, stuff like that. Trying to help her get on the right path.
All right. Is she currently employed?
Right now, no. She does like side jobs when she gets them.
Okay. And so are you the person who is the breadwinner, for want of a
Yes.
better term?
Yes.
Do you all share any children, or do either of you have any children?
I do have one child,
And what is your child's age?
Natalie.
Yes.
Her
How
name
old
is
is she?
Natalie. She's 11.
All right. And does Natalie live with you?
No, ma'am.
All right. Any other questions from either side?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
State, any other questions?
No, Judge. Thank you.
Miss Johnson, is there a reason you're not employed?
I'm having problems with like the GPS, them cooperating with me getting out on a daily basis. I was employed, if they're temp jobs.
All right. This is what the court will do then. Court deny motion, alternate amend conditions to include no harmful or injurious contact with Sarah Alfaro. Defendant to remain on GPS. And state, do you have any issue with GPS tracking?
No, no issue with that, Judge. If the court is inclined to do tracking, that's fine.
All right, we're going to do GPS tracking. And you're going to find employment within 15 days. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And there's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And I'm going to want random field visits 3 times per month. And all other conditions will remain. Ms. Johnson, you are skating on thin ice. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm telling you, when I mean that you're not to have unsupervised contact with minors, that's exactly what I mean. So if Ms. Alfaro's daughter comes over and Ms. Alfaro says, well, I just need to run to the store and I don't feel like bringing her with me, you better say, can't have unsupervised contact. You understand?
Yes.
And you are not allowed to leave this county. If you leave this county, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Everything that you do from here on out, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could result in me going to prison for potentially 10 years? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we'll close the record. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2, courtroom. If you could go to breakout room number 2, probation, we'll go over conditions with you. Mr. Perez, you can go to number 2, or either you can be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Gilbert Gonzalez. The party is on Gilbert Gonzalez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who is the state on Mr. Gonzalez?
I was working with Meredith.
All right, Ms. McIntyre, are you available, or someone from the DA's office available?
I can be, Judge.
Thank you. Court is calling 2020 CR 7589, State of Texas versus Gilbert Miguel Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Joseph Appelt.
And are you Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, I'm showing you what's entitled Acknowledgement of Discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gonzalez, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with is evading arrest, detention with a vehicle? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, she has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Off the record for probation, this is cause number 2020 CR 7589. It's Gilbert Miguel Gonzalez, and the charge is evading arrest, detention with a vehicle, and he's applied for deferred adjudication. Back on the record, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,500 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. They will take in consideration 614412. There's to be no contact with Jessica Leyva, Leyva. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There have not in this case, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, regular UAs, and a driver safety course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offer states Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any
No
objections?
objections from defense, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you have a chance to review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We would like to do that today, Your Honor, with your permission. Waive
Anything you
the
wish to say
PSI.
on behalf, sorry, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Gonzalez recently was able to obtain employment with Toyota to become more self-sufficient. He's working there since the beginning of October. He hopes that his brief incarceration at this moment will not affect that, and that it will still be waiting for him when he gets out of here, Your Honor, hopefully with you granting his request and his application for deferred adjudication. He is currently married, and together he and his wife have a 14-month-old son, which he has been supporting with his employment. And he does request that you approve his application for deferred adjudication. To my knowledge, this is his first offense of this degree of seriousness.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, who is Jessica Leyva to you?
She was just a friend of mine at the time when I was a little bit younger, ma'am. That's about it. I haven't had contact with her since the beginning of this case till now.
So does your wife know about her?
Not even. I wasn't with my wife at the time when I was friends with this girl.
All right, I don't want to start any relationship problems, but your defense attorney brought up the fact that you're married with children and then you're in the car with Jessica Leyva.
Me and my wife had just recently got married. We had our son in 2020.
It's my understanding that Ms. Leyva was prior to Mr. Gonzalez becoming serious and getting married to his current spouse.
All right, Mr. Pelt, I like the way you cleaned that up for your client, so he won't have any trouble at home.
Hopefully not.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. $1,500 fine, probated, 3 years deferred adjudication. Taking consideration County Court Cause number 614412. There's to be no contact with Jessica Leyva, Leyva. 120 hours community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof that you've taken the COVID vaccination. Court doesn't require anyone to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be deducted, and that vaccination includes the booster as well. Parenting classes, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Random field visits 2 times per month. Regular UAs. Driver safety course. Mr. Gonzalez, what is up with the neck tattoo?
I've had this since I was younger. Just something.
What does that mean since you were younger?
I've had it like since I was 16 years old, actually.
All right, and what is up with the hand tattoos?
Just my initials, Gilbert McGill, and then
Remember your name?
Yeah, I know. It's not that I couldn't remember my name. It's just a idiotic decision I made when I was younger.
All right, so do we have any gang affiliation with you?
No, ma'am, not at all.
So if they do a gang search, nothing's gonna come up.
No, ma'am.
All right, we'll do gang evaluation, gang supervision evaluation. All right, Ms. Solomon, is there anything else that Mr. Gonzalez needs?
No, ma'am. Will he be released from jail, or do you want the tap in jail?
Oh, no, I didn't request a TAP evaluation. We're just gonna do regular UAs to see how he does. And then if there are any positive UAs, Mr. Gonzalez, we may end up doing something else. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Gonzalez, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, who has on? Ah, that's from you. All right, Mr. Gonzalez, here's the thing. You have a young baby. That baby is looking up to you.
Yeah, I already said that. I already talked to my lawyer.
All right, that young child is looking up to you. So you need to start making better decisions. Don't be that parent that a child doesn't want anyone to know as their parents, because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Your baby is little, your baby is new, everything is bright and new in the world to your child right now. So don't bring nonsense, don't bring drama to your child's life. Try to give your child the best life and best start you can give him, okay? All right, if you'll wait right here, I'm going to take up another plea, and then probation is going to go over conditions with you. Mr. Pelt, you can hang around, or either you can be excused.
I would like to be excused, Your Honor, so I can take it to county court 4, please.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good luck to you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Appreciate you very much, sir.
All right, the court is going to call 2021 CR 11290, State of Texas versus Christy Nicole Trevino. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Catherine Valenzuela for the defense, Your Honor.
And are you Christy Trevino?
Present.
All right,
Yes.
we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections to the defense, Your Honor.
Ms. Trevino, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Trevino, I need you to calm down a little bit. Keep the level right here and just wait till you're addressed and then answer the question. The court reporter can only take down one person at a time. Okay? And we're making it easier for her because actually Brenna can take 3 people down at one time, but we're not gonna test that today. That's a Friday because it's a Friday. Ms. Trevino, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I understood it.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Trevino, I'm showing you what's entitled Courts Waivers and Courts Admonitions and Defendants Waivers of Affidavit and Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with arson? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could
Yes.
find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I believe she does.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Ms. Trevino, has anyone threatened you, coerced
ma'am.
you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her rights to jury trial. Show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there is a $1,500 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's restitution, if any, to the Family Violence Prevention Services. No contact with 2617 North Main Avenue. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Paragraph, did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
I'm sorry, no, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, MIC-MILF evaluation while in custody, and mixed supervision. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense is charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest?
State, any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Your Honor, my client and I have reviewed States 1. We have no objection.
All right, Ms. Trevino, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you have a chance to review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, ma'am.
No, Your Honor, we were going to wait for the evaluation.
Just 1 second. We're off the record for a moment. Xavier Alcaraz, could you please go to breakout room number 1? Xavier Alcaraz.
Yes, ma'am, I'll go right now.
All right. Are we proceeding with sentencing? Ms. Valenzuela.
Your Honor, I believe that we were going to wait until after the evaluation. I mean, we can and then have the evaluation because that's a part of it.
All right, we can wait till after the evaluation. Is that how you wish to proceed, State?
I think that's probably the best idea considering the offense and some of the issues in this case.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a sentencing date, please? And we're going to do a TAP evaluation. And we'll do a mouth evaluation while in custody. All right, we're going to come back on February 21st.
Sorry, Judge, I need to change that. Give me 1 second. It's a holiday that day. 1 second.
All right, we're coming back on February 22nd.
And
at 9 a.m. So what I'm going to do is Ms. Trevino, I'm going to send you and I'm going to send Mr. Gonzalez to a breakout room, and probation will go over conditions with you both. And Ms. Trevino, the probation officer, will let you know what's needed of you. And actually, I'm going to have to move you to number 3. There's already someone there. And let me find you, Ms. Trevino. Just 1 second. I'm trying to find you on the screen, Ms. Trevino. Ah, someone else just popped in there. All right, I'm going to send you on to number 5 instead. And Ms. Trevino, if you could go to number 5, and Ms. Valenzuela, you can go to number 5, or either you can be excused. All right, Ross Rodriguez.
Hi, Judge.
Yes.
My client is on. She was having problems when we were in the breakout room together, but she's on, Judge. Essentially, Your Honor, I need to, well, I just got retained. I haven't received any discovery on this. There she is, Judge.
Okay,
And
did you address with her about laying in bed while she's on Zoom?
I did, Your Honor, that she needs to be upright like she is right now, Your Honor.
All right, just give me a moment while I go grab that phone.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, they're grabbing the file. While I get that file, just give me a moment. Mr. Ramirez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I was in another court and I just got out of it. And so I'm ready to go with Mr. Richican too. I was wondering if I can confer with a CTD ADA.
I'll send you to number 9.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And Mr. Rodriguez, it appears that Ms. McCutcheon doesn't know how to use Zoom. So if she is not able to properly use Zoom, she's going to have to start appearing in person.
I understand, Your Honor. I don't know where she went, Judge. She was just on.
Well, her video keeps going down, and so I have no idea. All right, we're waiting for your file, Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Cabanas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Martinez, I think they got the paperwork.
Judge, they did, Your Honor, on Ms. Martinez. However, I'd like to request a competency evaluation, Judge.
Okay. We will make that happen. All right, and Ms. Martinez is L26. Ms. Ferguson, we're going to need a competency evaluation on Ms. Martinez.
Yes, ma'am.
So when would you like to bring this back? What date should we come back? If you can put it in the chat, please. All right, we're going to come back on February 16th. Okay, so on Ms. Martinez, we'll be back on February 16th. All right, Ms. Ferguson, you can let them know Ms. Martinez can go back. She's L26.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And then I don't know where Mr. Enriquez is. I don't know why he's not here. I don't see his name on the docket. So we're gonna find out what that is.
Who's Enriquez?
It's Mr. Cabanas' client.
He was recalled from Monday, Norma.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 1. Ms. Ferguson can talk to you about where Mr. Enriquez is. All right, Cleophas Marshall.
I've conferred with Ms. Brittany Sparks, and she is submitting a dismissal on that case. And that should resolve that case.
Okay.
It's Baldemero Serrata.
All right, then you are excused. I'll sign that as soon as I receive the motion.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, you too. All right, who are the parties on Alcaraz?
Judge Boyd, real quick, is Mr. Trevino able to be released? I'm done with her.
Yes.
Okay, I'll let her know. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Judges Marcus and Derek Emmons.
All right, Mr. Alcaraz does not have his video showing, and neither does Mr. Edmonds. All right, Robert Broback, you have Castro?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I've conferred with him. We're ready for sentencing.
All right, who is the prosecutor on Castro?
Mr.
Marcus.
Saunders?
And Mr. Rodriguez, they're trying to find that file.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4, Mr. Rodriguez, and if you can
Yes, Your Honor.
give them the cause number and everything so we can find out where that file is.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, you're okay. I'll bring him back. Okay, his client's name isn't McCutcheon. That's why nobody can find the file. All right. Court is calling 2021 CR 8830, State of Texas versus Jonathan Timothy Castro. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Robert Bralbach.
All right, and are you Mr. Castro? Could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No,
None.
Your Honor.
Any objection from
No,
the
sir.
defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Castro, do you have any objections to this proceeding by video?
No, Your Honor.
Court will note for the record that the defendant entered a plea on December 8th by video, and the defendant waived in-person appearance. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 5 years. There are cases that are being taken in consideration, no contact orders. The state is opposing your application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State?
Yes, Judge.
Any objections to the PSI report?
None.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor, no objections.
All right, state, you may proceed. You're opposed.
Yes, Judge. We have a witness we'd like to call, Esther Henson.
All right, Ms. Henson, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, could you lower your hand and state your name for the record, please?
Esther Henson.
All right, state.
Thank you, Judge. Okay, Mrs. Henson, you're aware that we're here for the sentencing of Donovan Castro in the case where you're the victim?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember that night the offense happened?
Yes, sir. I do remember it.
Where were you at that night?
I was in my bedroom asleep.
Okay. When did you first become aware that your house had been burglarized?
Awakening, I'm gonna say around 7 o'clock in the morning when I woke up. I saw that my living room remotes weren't around and my TV was on. And that's when I noticed that I went to my dining room and things would move around, but it wasn't until I got to my husband's office, which we're in right now, where everything was thrown around and a lot of things were missing.
Okay. And so you were aware that things were taken from your living room and the office, is that correct?
The living room, dining room, and office and kitchen.
Okay. And did you later discover that items were taken from another location?
Yes, sir. At the time, we had told the officers the amount of the money that was taken, you know, the property amount. But later on, I had a rosary to go to. My nephew had just passed away and I was getting ready to go to rosary when I noticed that my rings were missing inside my room.
And those rings were located where inside your bedroom?
And they were located in my dresser, just 3 feet from me.
Okay. Were they located in a container or?
Well, they were located in a ring, I guess a ring keeper, a ring holder where you put all your rings in.
Okay. When you went to try, I guess, to get one of your rings, like how many were missing?
Total with my ring would be 4.
Okay. Was the entire container empty?
Yes, sir.
And of the rings that were taken, was there one that was very important to you?
Yes, my wedding ring. That was the most important one to me, was my wedding ring.
How long have you been married?
I've been married 22 years.
And did y'all get your property back?
Yes, we did. We got the ones that we thought we had. There was so much missing that we had told the officer the day of that we got everything because I wasn't aware that he was inside my room, that nobody entered my room.
So you never got your rings back?
No, sir.
Since this has happened, how has your life changed?
I suffer from depression and anxiety as it is, and so does my son. So in this case, it just affected me to the point where I was already seeing a psychiatrist, I'm sorry, and it just got worse where I had to get prescriptions to go to sleep because me and my son couldn't go to sleep. My son, he refused to get the depression pills, but I did, and I got anxiety pills to be able to sleep at night. We weren't able to sleep. My son and me cannot go to the living room at night no more.
Okay. Did your husband change his schedule also?
He had to change his work from leaving at least at 6 or 7, and he was leaving very early in the mornings prior to this.
And I guess, do you still feel secure in your home?
No, I don't. I don't think I ever will. We've been here in this neighborhood for so long. Being that I know that he is from this neighborhood and feeling in my heart that he wasn't alone for the amount of stuff that was taken, it just, I don't know who's out there, and it hasn't been the same. No, sir.
So what sort of, I guess, punishment do you think would be appropriate for Mr. Castro?
I think it has to be a longer time, only because I'm just afraid that he might not think the severity of of what really happened. I mean, how it's affected other people. To him, it was things were returned and that was it. It's just not only the ring. It's my feeling of depression and anxiety, being that I had already, prior to this, years ago, already had trauma. So this is a lot of stuff that has brought up because of what happened.
And you're aware that he's applying for community supervision, correct?
Yes, sir.
If he were to get community supervision, I guess, would you have concerns about that?
I would, sir.
What are your concerns?
My concerns is that he comes back. That has always been my concern. That's been my biggest fear.
Judge, will pass the witness.
All right, defense.
Only have a few questions, Your Honor. To her, did she see the intruder in the house?
No, sir, I didn't.
Did the intruder confront you or cause harm to anyone else in the house, either you or any other occupants?
No, sir, he didn't. It didn't happen.
Okay, and what you're complaining about is property that is missing. I think the only item that has not been returned to you is a wedding ring. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Nothing further to add, Your Honor.
All right. Any follow-up from the state?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you. State, call your next witness.
The state rests.
All right, defense.
No witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will hear. Well, does
Yes.
anyone have any questions for Mr. Castro?
May I speak, Your Honor?
Sure you can. You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record, please.
I'm Donovan Timothy Castro.
All right, the first question I want answered is, where is her wedding ring?
I have put them with the belongings and had my mother go and she said that they were not available. They were not there at all.
So
And
you
I
don't have her, are you telling this court that you don't have her wedding ring?
That is correct.
All right, anything else for Mr.
Yes.
Broback? Do you have any questions for your client?
Other than some statements I'll make at the sentencing, no, not right now.
Judge, if
Yes.
I may, I'm willing to reimburse any cost of anything, even
Well, let's
over
start with this. Why are you breaking into people's homes?
I made the wrong choice. I made the biggest mistake of my life.
No, you
The
didn't make a
biggest-
mistake. Nope, you made choices. A mistake is if it's sunny outside, I come to court. Somebody tells me it's raining outside. I didn't bring my umbrella.
Yes.
So
yes, Your
someone
Honor.
is sitting next to me and I see that they have an umbrella and I take it. Guess what? That's a choice I made. If I come with my umbrella and I'm sitting next to someone who also has an umbrella and both of us have black umbrellas and it's raining outside and I pick up the black umbrella and I go outside and I open it and then I realize it's not my umbrella. I got the black umbrellas mixed up. Guess what? That's a mistake. What you did was a choice. So we're back to, why are you choosing to break into people's homes? And what I've read in the PSI reports is that that's your job. You break into people's homes when they are off at work. So why are you breaking into people's homes?
Never. That is not my job. My job, and this is what I use.
Well, did you break into her house and steal a ring?
I made a horrible choice.
No, my question is, did you break into her home and steal her wedding rings?
Yes, I did. Yes, I
And
did.
did you break into her home while she was gone?
Yes.
Was this the daytime or nighttime?
It was the daytime.
So your job on that day was breaking into people's homes and you broke into her home while she was not there and stole a ring. So we're back to the point. Why are you breaking into her home, since you don't want to say homes? Why are you breaking into her home and stealing her items that her husband worked hard for and that she worked hard for?
I'm so sorry. I would never do that again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I did that. I promise it'll never happen again. I don't want to ever get into this situation in my life again and to go into
You
another
commit,
person's home.
Mr. Castro, I'm
Yes,
looking at your criminal history. You have a theft from 2009, and I'm sure you told that judge, I'm sorry, I promise I'll never do it again. Then you had another theft in 2013. I'm sure you told that judge, I'm sorry, I promise I'll never do it again. And then you had another theft, and they dismissed it, said convicted of other. And then, you had a prior burglary. So again, we're back to the point. Why would you break into her home and steal her wedding rings?
never. I don't want, Your Honor, I take full responsibility for my actions. And with that, I've reimbursed anything and anything. I'm completely, I'm sorry for any type of feeling or anything that I have caused against you. And I just need a chance, and I promise this chance, and I would never, ever, it would never happen again. I'll go back to, I was a preacher at my church, and I want to go, I'm following the Lord again, back in my faith.
All right, you're a preacher at your church. What's one of the commandments?
Thou shalt not steal.
And what did you do?
And I stole. Yes, I did,
And
Judge.
you broke into someone's house during the daytime. And again, you still have not told the court, why did you break into her house and steal her wedding rings? That's number one. And number two, if you did not sell her wedding rings, and I'm assuming your mom loves you, and you say you have the wedding rings, where are they? Because I'm sure she wants her wedding ring back.
Yes, if it wasn't, it should be in the closet. She checked there. There's no wedding rings in the closet.
Any other questions from either side?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
All right, this is what the court is going to do.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Your Honor. With the 6 months of incarceration, I have my faith back in Jesus Christ, my Savior. And as for that, I made an oath to the Lord. I'll never break another commandment or law ever in my life as long as I live. I have a wife and 3 children of my own that are struggling to pay the rent and the light bill because I'm incarcerated due to my actions. All I'm asking is for a second chance, Your Honor, but not allowing, a status and just probation deferred, so I could provide for my family right now. I don't use or drink alcohol. I'm willing to take any outpatient classes, anything that's needed, or 5 years deferred, and anything that's mandatory, just so I can get out there and provide for my family in the rightful manner of a man of Christ Jesus that should be and shall be of me, Your Honor.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court's going to deny the motion, find you guilty. Court will sentence you up to 4 years, and will sentence you to 4 years in prison. Mr. Brobeck, I'll keep jurisdiction. There's to be $1,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent. Take in consideration County Court Cause number 663041. There's to be restitution to Michael Hinson, Hinson, Catherine Reynolds, and cause number 663041. There's to be no contact with Michael Hinson, Esther Hinson, Catherine Reynolds, 10631 Green Nook Drive and 5003 Green Post Road.
Judge, if I may, I had deferred to probation 16 years ago. I completed it fully. I can do 5 years. I can do 10 years.
Let me ask you this. What was that previous deferred adjudication for?
It was for burglary and habitation.
And what are you here for today?
Burglary and habitation, 16 years later.
Yes. So you're committing burglaries of a habitation, and you're committing thefts. Now, the way you say, here's the thing. You're saying that you need to support your children and you need to support your family.
Yes, I do.
Well, let me explain something to you.
Yes.
Miss Henson, Mr. Henson, Miss Reynolds, they were all out there working during the daytime and you were stealing for them. You broke into their home. I'm sure they had the doors locked. I'm sure they were not unlocked. You broke into their home. You took her jewelry, which I'm sure her husband took time out of his day to pick that out, made choices, probably talked to her mom, talked to his mom, saying what ring you think she would like, saved up money so he could get her this ring. And guess what? He could go out and he could get maybe the exact same ring. It's still not going to be the same because guess what? That wasn't the first ring he chose for her. That was not the ring they thought about. That's not the ring she's been wearing. And so what you did was you went into someone's home instead of working to support your family and you took items. I want you to think about something. You need to think about the mother of your children and somebody maybe breaking into her house, stealing whatever you got for her or whatever you got for your son, and then they don't have it anymore. You were placed previously on deferred adjudication for burglary of habitation. Obviously, you didn't learn anything because we're back here again for another burglary of a habitation where you're taking items that do not belong to you. Stealing should not be an occupation. If you want things, you need to go out and get a job and earn money for things. And let me just tell you something. At the end of the day, when we are no longer here, if you go to a junkyard, there are a bunch of things there. So your sentence is the 4 years in prison. Mr. Brauback, I will retain jurisdiction. I'm finding him guilty. There's to be no contact with Michael Henson, Esther Henson, Catherine Reynolds, 10631 Green Nook Drive, 500 Green Post Road, $1,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent. There's to be restitution to Michael Henson, Catherine Reynolds, and cause number 663041. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Mr. Castro, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Mr. Brauback, did we review that?
Yes, we reviewed it and you signed it.
Okay. Yes, I did.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a question over the definition of a weapon or ammunition, you'll need to speak to an attorney about that. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Number 14J can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Brauback.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Joe Stenberg. All right, while he unmutes himself, Ross Rodriguez, Ms. McCutcheon, we find your client is listed as Lori Jean Wilmer. That's why we couldn't find the file.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And Joe Stenberg finally found the unmute button.
Thank you. Ms. Ferguson, on Wilmer, can I have a 30-day reset, please? All right, we're going to come back on February 15th. You and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, and Ms. Ferguson, can you make sure Mr. Barrios is sent back?
Yeah, he's still on here, Judge. Do you want to speak with him first, or do you? want me
Yes.
to- Okay, they're still here. I haven't released anyone yet.
Mr. Barrios, we're going to recall your case for February 16th. Your attorney is out.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for your patience. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. All right, you can send Mr. Barrios back, 17A.
Judge Boyd, can Mr. Gonzalez be released as well? We're done.
Yes. All right, Pacina Rodriguez. Mr. Pacina Rodriguez.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez. Where are you? Could you unmute yourself, please?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Hello. Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, thank you so much for your patience. Your case is actually going to be recalled for the 15th. Your attorney is out ill, okay?
Okay, the 15th.
Yes, February 15th. And if for some reason your attorney is feeling better before then, we'll bring you back before then, okay?
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Norma, Mr. Pacina Rodriguez can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't see Mr. Duclos on the screen. But we'll send him back, and he's coming back on January 19th. All right. Mr. Roberto Ramirez, Mr. Cantu, what are we doing with Mr. Cantu?
Yes, Your Honor, I've conferred with the state and they're putting together an offer. There's a victim involved that they need to consult with. So I'd like to ask for a reset to allow them to do that. And
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Richard Cantu, can I have a 1-month reset, please? All right, Mr. Cantu, we're going to come back on your case on February 15th. On February 15th, the state will be able to tender an offer. Thank you for your patience, Mr. Cantu. Have a great rest of your day. Norma, you can let them know Cantu CH1 can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Joseph Acevedo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
We've conferred. May we have a reset for disposition?
All right, Norma, on Mr. Smalls, can you recall this in 2 weeks, please? All right, we're going to come back. Mr. Stenberg, you are being requested to speak with Miss Hayden.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to send her to breakout room number 2, and I'm going to send you to number 2.
Thank you.
All right. And Norma, is that date February 1st? So Mr. Small will be back on your case on February 1st at 9 a.m. and you'll need to appear in person in court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, we'll see you then.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused? Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Mr. Cabanos, we're just waiting for your client.
Yes, Your Honor. He just was brought over by the jail.
All right, let me take this plea and then we'll take that up.
Keep reading it. We get it down like that.
Court is calling 2021 CR 5722, State of Texas versus Xavier Alcaraz. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Derek M is for Mr. Alcaraz.
And are you Mr. Alcaraz?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
No,
Any objections from the defense?
There's not, Judge.
Mr. Alcaraz, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
yes, I understood it. I don't know if I was supposed to tell you that I had accidentally signed it wrong when I had downloaded the file. I noticed I missed click something.
All right, it has your name, your signature on it correctly.
Yes, ma'am. I think I told my lawyer. I don't know if he can better describe it to you, ma'am.
Judge, I think he's referring to his plea. He's supposed to plead no contest and plead guilty on the form. So you haven't gotten to that yet, obviously, but that's what he's referring to.
All right. Do you have any objections to this taking place by video, Mr. Alcaraz?
No, ma'am.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I have, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Alcaraz, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Alcaraz, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with aggravated assault, serious bodily injury? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea.
Okay. Yes.
You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand the court? Yes? Okay. Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Judge.
You believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, he is, yes.
Mr. Alcaraz, has anyone threatened, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am. No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. And Mr. Edmonds, it's my understanding that the defendant is going to be pleading no contest. Is that correct?
That is correct, Judge.
All right. And so for the record, the court changed the plea on the paperwork that Mr. Alcaraz was concerned about to nolo contendere.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Brenda, I'm sorry, my live stream isn't up. Where did I leave?
Waived his right to jury trial.
All right, thank you. There are a lot of distractions that are happening in the chat box and everywhere. All right, I'm going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargaining agreement, the state recommends deferred adjudication, and there's to be no contact with Michelle, Michele, Forey, Forry. Did you understand that to be the plea bargaining agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargaining agreement?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargaining agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There have not been, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service, restitution, and anger management. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea.
Yes, Judge. First, state offer states Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objections.
Mr. Alcaraz, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting an evidence did you understand that the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states Exhibits 1 and attachments. All right, after reviewing states Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We would like to, Judge.
Judge,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I was just told that we have a victim who really wanted to give an impact statement, but she's unavailable today.
Okay, so what we'll do is we will reset for sentencing, Mr. Evans.
Okay.
And probation, there is not a need for a PSI report. We're just going to reset it for sentencing.
Okay.
So, Mr. Sanders, when will your person be available?
Judge, anytime next week would work.
All right, Mr. Edmonds, what is your schedule look like for next week? And Ms. Ferguson, what does your schedule look like? Our schedule at least look like for next week?
Judge, I'm going to be in the court on Tuesday anyway on Mr. Briggs' case, so I can come back on Tuesday if that works for the court.
All right. All right, so we'll be back on January 18th. All right, and that will be by Zoom, Mr. Alcaraz, and that'll be at 9 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank
you. You have a great day, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You too. It's been a hectic Friday. I don't want to say it's been a crazy Friday, but it's been a hectic Friday. But everybody has patience in their pocket, Brenda, because it's Friday.
Yes, ma'am. You have a great rest of your weekend and your rest of your Friday.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Cabanas, we're going to take up Mr. Enriquez. I know we've been waiting to do that. It seems like it's been months, but it's only been days, I think. Ms. Hayden, are you available?
I am.
All right, we're back on the record on 2021 CR 8556, Victor Emmanuel Enriquez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michelle Hayden for the state.
For the defense?
Alfonso Cabañas from Mr. Enriquez.
And are you Mr. Enriquez?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right, the court had some concerns. Well, not concerns. The court wanted some questions answered because the state was opposed to your application. And I just needed some more loose ends tied up as I my mom and I always say. And I wanted some insight into the relationship between the defendant and his fiance or the mother of his child and the father-in-law. And so state and defense, did you all have a chance to get in touch with those parties?
Judge, I tried to reach out to Jesse Insall, our victim. I spoke with other residents of his house, but I was not able to speak with him. I did speak with Genevieve Insall, who's the mother of the defendant's children and the victim's daughter.
Okay, and if there's no objection to the hearsay, because I wanted to know what the relationship was between the defendant and the complainant's daughter to try to figure out what the family dynamics were on that night, because as you all know, according to the police report, the defendant and the complainant's daughter, they were actually moving out when all of this occurred. So Ms. Hayden, were you able to determine the type of relationship that the defendant and the complainant's daughter has?
Yes, Your Honor, they are still together. They were arguing that day and her dad intervened. She said that her dad has not had other issues with Victor. Again, this is coming from her. She did say that substances were involved, which has been an issue. There was one prior case that was dismissed with our office. I guess alcohol was a factor in that as well.
All right, and this is alcohol and substance use as it relates to the defendant, correct?
That is correct.
All right. Mr. Cabanas, anything you wish to add?
Nothing. I did confer with Ms. Hayden earlier this morning regarding Mr. Enriquez's fiance, and her assessment is correct that she does regarding what happened the day of the incident. Just to refresh the court's memory, Your Honor, when we were back here on Tuesday, Mr. Enriquez did admit to the court that there were substances involved, and that what happened on that day was correctly put by his fiance, by Mr. Enriquez, and it was also reported on the PSI.
Okay. All right, so this is what the court is going to do. The court will grant your application. The court is going to sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon, affirmative finding of family violence. And what the court will note is the court did review your criminal history, and there is no felony criminal history that was before the court and no juvenile history. So there's to be restitution to Jesse, Jesse Insall, Insall, affirmative finding of family violence. There's going to be parenting classes with compadre, compadre. I'm going to want a referral to felony drug court while in custody. And if for any reason felony drug court does not accept him, I want him to remain in custody, because then we'll do something else. There's going to be field visits 3 times per month, random. There's to be no contact with Jesse Insall. And at some point, he may want to have contact with you after you worked on your issues, but I'm going to explain something to you. If it's in the best interest of your children or your child to see their grandfather, you don't need to be standing in the way of that and holding grudges. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand. I have no problem with letting she's grandson, ma'am.
All right, so there's to be no contact with Jesse Insall. I'm going to want the BIPP course. And upon release, we're going to do GPS, and we'll do GPS tracking. How far did you go in school?
I went up to 10th grade, ma'am, and as I told you, I actually graduated in here with my GED.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad you're making changes. We're going to do
Thanks,
proof
ma'am.
of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof that you've completed the entire regimen of the COVID vaccination. Court's not requiring you to do that, but if you do, that will be deducted. And the remaining hours will be deducted if you provide proof that you've completed some level of higher education or been to some kind of trade school and done some type of some type of certificate or some type of training to improve yourself and improve your ability to obtain employment that will support you and your family. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Excuse me, Your Honor, would there be a way I could touch my lawyer after this?
Yes, you will. We're going to do field visits 3 times per month, random. And we'll do the UA hotline upon release. Now, if you're accepted into felony drug court will have their own set of rules for you. And the only time you'll be coming back to this court is if they kick you out because of your actions, or if you're writing me a letter and saying, Judge Boyd, thank you so much. I'm graduating, would you come to my graduation? And if that's the case, of course, I will come to your felony drug court graduation. Probation, is there anything else that Mr. Enriquez needs from the court?
No, ma'am, but can you send me the plea agreement? I can't find this case on the docket and I need a couple of things for the application.
Sure, I will.
Okay, thank you.
See, Brenna, I say I will, but then I'm like, Robert or Lupe, could you send the plea bargain agreement to the probation officer, please?
I'll send it to your judge, no worries.
Brenda, delegating is so awesome. All right, Mr. Enriquez, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
Oh, ma'am, I can continue myself from here like I should have in the beginning.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Understood, ma'am, Your Honor.
And because there's an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Understood, Your Honor.
And if you have a question over the definition of what a weapon is, you'll need to speak to your attorney concerning that. Do you understand?
Understood, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Probation will go over conditions with you. Mr. Cabanas, I believe you've been with us here for, I don't know, it probably feels like years to you. But if you don't have anyone else with us, you can go to the breakout room, speak to your client, and then you can excuse yourself from the breakout room. But Mr. Enriquez, you'll need to remain in there until probation goes over conditions with you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Understood, ma'am.
Sure. And Ms. Salman, the clerk should be sending you copies of the plea agreement.
Thank you.
And everyone, I promised Brenna that we would not be staying here past 12:30. It is now 12:41. So the court is going to take its break. So we're breaking for lunch. We'll be back at 2 p.m. Mr. Cox, we'll see you back at 2 p.m.
Yes, Judge, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And I'm going to stop the live stream.